Hi there everybody, my name is Ali and today we'll be going to do active from HackTheBox, which is a very basic Active Directory machine. And today I will be going to solve this machine just in front of you. I have not prepared this video, and whatever error messages we will face, whatever things we'll face, I will solve it in front of you. So you will have a feel that I am solving this machine the first time, and whatever things goes on, how my enumeration goes on, what things I do when I am solving a box when it is released, you will be going to see all those things in today's video. So this machine is a basic Active Directory machine, and we are having a very basic some passwords in Groups.xml file into smb. Then we do some Kerberoasting, and doing some Kerberoasting we are having an administrator hash, and we can use impacket psexec to actually log in as administrator. So that being said, let's jump in. Now I already have started my machine and my IP address is 10.10.10.100, so I will directly start off with the nmap scan. So nmap-a-v and then the IP address of the target, which is 10.10.10.100. Now this scan will take a lot of time, so I already have ran it. So let's see the results. So looking at the results, we can see I am having port 53 and there are a bunch of open ports. Now this is Active Directory machine, this is a domain controller. And how did I figure out that this is a domain controller? Because it has always port 88 open, which is Kerberos. Now Kerberos is an authentication protocol which is used for authentication in an Active Directory environment, and we will see this later on as well. Now let's try to begin with enumeration, how to enumerate when we are having a lot of open ports. So I just say that the ports which are having very short attack vector, try to go after them. Now right here I can see in this machine that there is no port 80, so there is no web server, so port 80 has a huge attack vector, so we have now get rid of them. Now the other one is Kerberos 88. We can try to do brute forcing again this one, and we can try to find out some usernames or passwords as well by brute forcing, but I will not do brute forcing on over here. Then we are having 135, which is msrpc. This one is usually not interesting, but we can do is we can try to enumerate some usernames, or there are some functions in RPC client tool, so we can use that as well. Then I will do there is 139 and 445, both of these are SMB. Then there is 389, which is LDAP, which is lightweight directory access protocol, and we are having a domain name here as well, so I will add this into my host file as well. So right, and the rest ones are not really too interesting. So my main attack vector in this machine would be SMB, then LDAP, and if I don't get anything from here, I will go jump over to port 88. So that's how I will start my methodology. So let's try to jump over SMB ports. So I will first thing first I will do is smbmap. So smbmap -h for host, and then 10.10.10.100. So let's see what shares are there. And I can see that right here I am having only access to one share, which is replication, and I am having a read only access. I can do the same thing with SMB client as well, and I will get the same thing but not the permission. So that's where some differences comes into play. So the SMB client -l 10.10.10.100, and then I will hit enter. I think so I need to do forward slashes, and forward slash share, enter in the password, and anonymous login successful. And again I can see all of the shares, but the difference is that above I am having read only permission on replication, but below I cannot see what are my permissions. Now I think so there will be some permissions over here to find these, but I normally use smbmap. Now again, if I use smbmap, what I can do is I can do, because I know that there is a replication share, so what I can do is I can recursively see that replication share. So that is a very important thing actually, because when I was doing my OSCP, I was having these sort of shares and I was not aware about this one to see recursively, and the directory structure in SMB share in OSCP was extremely long in depth. So I need to do CD, LS, CD, LS, and I went again doing CD, 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 and that was really painful for me. So now I figured out that okay, there is -r flag. We just need to give the share name, and it will recursively show you a proper tree format, that what shares are there, what folder are there, and what those sort of things are there. So this is a part of my methodology. Now I try to enumerate as much as I can, and then I will go for attack vector. So let's see what do we get over here. Okay, now my scan is done, and you can see now this one again was the same, a very huge directory structure starting from active.htb. In active.htb, again there are 3 folders. Again in dfs private there are 3 more files. In policies there are 2 more files, and so on. So this directory structure is very huge. Now the thing is, which file is interesting, which file is not interesting. So that's again based upon some experience and those sort of things. So the files which are looking interesting directly to me are, first thing first, group policy. I will always look at the group policies. Then users are really interesting. Then there are some other files. Let's see, groups are also very interesting. And then again there is user, machine, and those sort of things. So all these are looking interesting to me. So now it will make much more easier for me to actually get into this folder and try to see what's going on over here, what's going not going on over here. Now there is, I think so, some problem over here by which it is not showing some more directory structure. So I need to do, I think so, manually, because groups is a directory. So there might be possible that there might be something in the groups, or user is a directory here, but it is not showing me what is in the user. Machine is also a directory over here, and it is not showing what, okay, machine, it is showing what is in the machine, but it is not showing in groups, it is not showing in user. So again we need to do a lot of manual enumeration and those sort of things. So what I can do right over here is that I can simply come to my smb client tool, the tool which I ran, and I will simply do this replication and hit enter, and it will log me in as anonymous into a replication folder. If I do ls, there is active.htb. So I will now directly jump over to, first thing first, let's go to groups folder, or let's go to group policy which we found out above. So it was right over here. So in replication active.htb, then I need to go into policies. So cd into active.htb, cd into policies, then cd into the 3 one which is starting from 3, enter. Now if I do ls, there is group policy. So I will now cd into group policy, and if I do ls and gpe.ini, and this is not looking interesting to me. And I saw right over here that it is showing me group policy. My bad, actually I didn't notice that one. Okay, that's fine. Let's go into some other ones. The other ones which was looking interesting to me was, I think so, there was something, groups or user. Let's see where. Okay, groups. So in the same directory there is machine, preferences, and then groups. So let's go into machine, and I think so there is no machine over here. Yeah, there it is. So I was pressing tab onto my keyboard for auto completion just to save time. Then in preferences, then ls, groups, so cd into groups, ls, and there is a groups.xml file. Now this file is looking interesting to me, so if I can simply get it out, so get groups.xml, so enter, and it will try to download this one. Now if I want to download the groups.xml file from the above syntax smbmap tool, I can simply do dash capital A, and I can give the file name. So the file name is groups.xml, and what it will do is it will try to find out that whether there is a file groups.xml in any share or any directory. It will find it. If it finds, it will download it. So now what I can do over here is, let's come back. I have downloaded that groups.xml file, and I can open it in Sublime Text. So opening it in Sublime Text, I can see a random XML, but nothing is looking interesting to me. But if I see this much more clearly, I will be always looking for usernames and password in Active Directory. So my methodology comes around in such a way that whenever I'm going to target Active Directory, I'm always after usernames, and I'm always after their passwords. If I am into the machine, I will try to run mimicards, I will try to dump the usernames and NTLM hashes, then I will password spray, and I will do a lot of interesting things with usernames and passwords. So that's how my approach, my methodology is revolving around in Active Directory. So right here I can see here is that I'm having username here, and it is active.htb/svctgs. Now make sure you remember this, that whenever we are doing Active Directory, we are having our domain name first, then a slash, and then the username. So this is the specific format for specifying the username. So now there is another thing which is looking interesting, that there is a C password, and I exactly don't know what sort of password is this. This is an encrypted password and I have no idea what this thing is. So what I'll be going to do now is we need to try to do a quick Google search on what is C password. So let's try to do that quickly. So I'll say C password Active Directory and let's see what happens. So it says a C password. No, that's not a typo. Is a component of Active Directory's group policy preferences that allows administrators to set password via group policy. So, okay, do we have any exploit for this one, or can I decrypt it somehow? Let's see. Okay, and right away when I did this search, I can see a blog post from VK9 Security exploiting GPP sysvol Groups.xml. Then there is C password as well. Then it says finding password in sysvol, and looks like that there is something. So attacking GPP group preference policy credentials and so on. So what I can try to do is I can also do C password decryptor. I can do that search as well if I don't want to read any blog post. So let's see, do we have any C password decryptor? So the password is encrypted. Somehow I can decrypt it and I can try to get into the system or whatever. And right here I got two things, one of them from GitHub and the other one is Kali Linux direct repository. So if I click on this Kali Linux repository, gpp-decrypt, I think so it is a tool which is used to decrypt the C password. So let's see. Yeah, gpp decrypt, and then he's pasting the hash as well. So to install it, we need to do apt install gpp decrypt. So I will do that one as well because I have never done this thing before. So I told you that now, okay, it is already installed. My videos will be unprepared now. I will do everything in front of you, so you should have a feel what I am doing and how my enumeration goes on. So gpp decrypt, and right over here, let's see my sublime text. This is the hash. Let's try to copy this. gpp-decrypt and paste the hash, enter, and there you go. So this actually worked for me, and I am having the password which is this one. So now I always like to make my notes as well, so I always add those things into my notes, so I should remember if I need to use this password somewhere, I should have it. So the username was svc_tgs and the password which we have got over here is this one. So svctgs is the username. So what I can do is I can try to do CrackmapExec. So I think so I should have installed that one, CrackmapExec. Yes. So SMB, I can specify that I need to test it against this IP 10.10.10.100. The user which I have found is svc_tgs and the password which I have found is gpp still standing strong 2018, and let's hit enter. So this will be my next part of the methodology. Whenever I see a username and a password, I always validate them because validating the username and password is very important, and CrackmapExec is one of the best one. And there you go. So it says a plus sign, which means that I have access to SMB shares. I can read some more SMB shares, and this one. The other thing which I can also do, can I get into the system using these credentials like evil WinRM, like remote management? So if I do WinRM, hit enter, let's see, and I'm hoping for the best that I should log in, so I should now move on to the privilege escalation, but this doesn't work for me. So okay, so we cannot log into using these credentials. So let's see what shares do we have. So I think so in CrackmapExec we do have minus shares command to see the shares. Let's see, minus shares will give us the shares with these credentials. Let's see, and there you go. I'm having some shares, and this time you have noticed that net log on, I am having a read access replication, read access sysvol, read access, and users read access. So users directory will be the one which will be containing the flag here as well, but I don't want to see the flag in this way. I want to log in. I want a proper shell access over here. So in this case now I am stuck over here. Okay, so Now what I can do here is I have a username and I have a password. So what we can do, we can try to do a lot of different things like silver ticket attack, because in silver ticket we should have a username and a password. We can try to do a lot of active directory attacks, but the one basics ones will be curve roasting. Okay, or I can also try to do AS rep roasting as well, but curve roasting will be the main one because I am having the password. In AS rep roasting I don't have the password. So what I can do is in Kerberoasting, I will see if there are any SPNs set for this user. If there are, I can try to get access of, I can try to get the username of any other user or those SPN. So that's how Kerberoasting works actually. So let's try to see how it works. So now for Kerberoasting, I will try to use impacket. So if I do impacket dash, I have pressed tab onto my keyboard for this one. I think so for curb roasting, we have a script called get users spn. Yeah, there it is, get users spn. So if I do get users spns, if I see the help menu for this one, because I have never remembered these commands. So I will do now everything in front of you right over here. I need to specify the domain slash username colon password. So I need to specify the domain. So I have actually not added this into my host file. Make sure you always remember this, that whenever you are doing this thing, always do sublime etc host, and then you need to add the IP address 10.10.10.100 active.htb. Make sure you don't forget this thing. Okay, so domain slash username colon password. So the syntax is looking fine. Then I think so I need to specify the request flag as well, because I need to request for SPNs, request TGS actually. So I will use request as well, and but I will not choose no pass because I already have a password. I will use dash k, I don't know exactly, so it will be all based upon random. Oh, I need to do DCIP as well, so let's try to do it. So the first thing is domain active.htb slash username svc underscore tgs, and then the password is gpp still standing strong. No, I think so, yeah, gpp still standing strong. So I'll paste that password over here, and I'll simply do dash dc dash ip is 10.10.10.100, and I will do request as well. Request for TGS, enter. Let's see if it works. And there you go, it works on it worked on the first attempt for me. Actually, this is the first time I am having running a command and it using impact, and it worked on my first attempt. So right here you can see what happened was that it found a service principal name of with for which have access to SIF service, and it is for administrator, and we have found the hash for administrator. So that's how it works. And now since we have the hash for administrator, this is krb5tgs, so I can copy the hash, crack the hash, and try to log in as administrator. So let's try to do that one. So I'll make a file called hash, paste the hash in, save, and I will use hashcat. Now let's use hashcat hash, and the word list which I will pass is user share rockq. Oh, user share word list rockq.txt. I have actually not unzipped that one, so I need to go over there, user share word list ls, and there is rockq.txt. I need to unzip that one, so unzip rockq.txt.gz, and this will unzip this file ls, and now there is proper rockq.txt. So now I will do rockq.txt, hit enter, and let's see whether we can crack the administrator hash or no. Okay, so now my hashcat has been started, and let's see whether it is able to crack the hash or no. And there you go. After some time, it actually cracked the hash, and I am having this hash cracked. And the password, if I can show you right over here, just to make the small, Ticketmaster 1968, and it says it has cracked. So that's how actually we crack the hashes using hashcat, and hashcat now comes in auto mode, which means that we can directly specify the hash and give the word list, and it will automatically detect the hash. So we have the password Ticketmaster 1968. I will copy this one. I will add it into my notes again. So the username was administrator, and the password is ticketmaster 1968. So what I can do right over here is I can try to do impacket again dash psexec, because psexec is one of the best one to give you anti-authority system login as administrator into the system. So I can simply do administrator, and I'll give the, I think so, IP address 100, enter. It will ask me for the password. I will paste the password, enter, and let's see if this works. Requesting shares, found that will share admin, and looks like we are gonna have an administrator access. And there you go. So if I type in who am I am anti-authority system, and I can now grab the flags. So this was all about this machine. It was an easy Active Directory machines, and we can try to do different things over here. So cd into administrator and dir. Yeah, there is cd into administrator. I just misspelled it, so let me copy paste cd into administrator, cd into desktop, and there will be root.txt. And if I cd into svc underscore tgs, cd into desktop, and dir, and there is user.txt. So I can simply do type user.txt, and we have the user flag as well. So that was all about this video. I did everything in front of you. This video, I was not prepared about this video, and you just noticed my enumeration, and hopefully from the future videos you will see complete enumeration of myself, how do I solve machines, and that's how I was able to pass my OSCP, EJP, PT, ECPPT, or OSEP, whatever, all of these certifications which I have passed. This was the part of my methodology. So I hope you will learn a lot about this one, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.